Good morning, friends. Happy Wednesday. We've made it halfway through the week. Woo, woo. Look how far into this we are. Look. We've read this much. I feel like we just started this year. And look, sometimes it feels like we're still in the beginning because we're still in the Old Testament. We're this far into the book. All right, September 21st. Good morning, Mallory. All right, September 21st. The people occupy Jerusalem. Nehemiah 11, 1 through 36. The leaders of the people were living in Jerusalem, the holy city. A tenth of the people from the other towns of Judah and Benjamin were chosen by sacred lots to live there too, while the rest stayed where they were. And the people commended everyone who volunteered to resettle in Jerusalem. Here is a list of the names of the provincial officials who came to live in Jerusalem. Most of the people, priests, Levites, temple servants, and descendants of Solomon's servants, continued to live in their own homes and in various towns of Judah. But some of the people from Judah and Benjamin resettled in Jerusalem. From the tribe of Judah, Athaiah, son of Uzziah, son of Zechariah, son of Amariah, son of Shephatiah, son of Mahalalel, from the family of Perez. Also Messiah, son of Baruch, son of Kolhoza, son of Haziah, son of Adaiah, son of Joirib, son of Zechariah, of the family of Shelah. There were 468 descendants of Perez who lived in Jerusalem, all outstanding men. From the tribe of Benjamin, Salu, son of Meshullam, son of Joed, son of Pedaiah, son of Kalea, son of Messiah, son of Ithiel, son of Jeshiah. After him were Gabai and Salai, and a total of 928 relatives, and I'm glad that I don't have to read every one of those names of 928. Their chief officer was Joel, son of Zichri, who was assisted by Judah, son of Hasanua, second in command over the city. From the priests, Jedaiah, son of Joirib, Jachin, and Sariah, son of Hilkiah, son of Meshullam, son of Zadok, son of Marioth, son of Ahitub, and the supervisor of the temple of God. Also 822 of their associates who worked at the temple. Also Adaiah, son of Jehoram, son of Pelaiah, son of Amzi, son of Zechariah, son of Pashur, son of Melchijah, along with 242 of his associates who were heads of their families. Also Amashai, son of Azarel, son of Azai, son of Meshillemoth, son of Immer, and 128 of his outstanding associates. Their chief officer was Zabdiel, son of Haggedolam. From the Levites, Shemaiah, son of Hashab, son of Azrikam, son of Hashabiah, son of Buni. Also Shabbathai and Jozabad, who were in charge of the work outside of the temple of God. Also Mattaniah, son of Micah, son of Zabdi, a descendant of Asaph, who led in thanksgiving and prayer. Also Bakbukiah, who was Mattaniah's assistant, and Abda, son of Shemua, son of Galal, son of Jeduthun. In all, there were 284 Levites in the holy city. From the gatekeepers, Akub, Talman, and 172 of their associates who guarded the gates. The other priests, Levites, and the rest of the Israelites lived wherever the family inheritance was located in any of the towns of Judah. The temple servants, however, whose leaders were Ziha and Gishpa, all lived on the hill of Ophel. The chief officers of the Levites in Jerusalem was Uzzi, son of Bani, son of Hashabiah, son of Mattaniah, son of Micah, a descendant of Asaph, whose family served as singers at God's temple. Their daily responsibilities were carried out according to the terms of a royal command. Pedaiah, son of Mehezabel, a descendant of Zerah, son of Judah, was the royal advisor in all matters of public administration. As for the surrounding villages with their open fields, some of the people of Judah lived in Kiriath Arba with its settlements, Dibon with its settlements, and Jekabzeel with its villages. They also lived in Jeshua, Moladah, Beth Pelet, Hazar Shual, Beersheba with its settlements, Ziklag, Mekona with its settlements. They also lived in En-Rimmon, Zorah, Jarmuth, Zanoah, and Adullam with their surrounding villages. They also lived in Lachish with nearby fields, and Azekah with its surrounding villages. So the people of Judah were living all the way from Beersheba in the south to the valley of Hinnom. Some of the people of Benjamin lived at Geba, Michmash, Ahijah, Bethel with its settlements. They also lived in Anathoth, Nob, Ananiah, Hazor, Ramah, Gittaim, Hadad, Zeboim, Nabalat, Lod, Ono, and the Valley of Craftsmen. Some of the Levites who lived in Judah were sent to live with the tribe of Benjamin. Oh boy. A history of the priests and Levites, Nehemiah 12:1-26. This list begins with the priests and Levites who returned to Jerusalem with Zerubbabel in 538 BC and sweeps down to the time of Nehemiah in 445 BC. I'm going to read about 100 years worth. Here is the list of the priests and Levites who returned with Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua, the high priest. Oh my gosh. Seraiah, Jeremiah, Ezra, Amariah, Malach, Hattush, Shechaniah, Haram, Meremoth, Iddo, Ginnethon, Abijah, Miniamin, Moadiah, Bilgah, Shemaiah, Joriab, Jedaiah, Salu, Amok, Hilkiah, Jedaiah. These were the leaders of the priests and their associates in the days of Jeshua. The Levites who returned with them were Jeshua, Benui, Kadmiel, Sherebiah, Judah, and Mattaniah, who with his associates was in charge of the songs of thanksgiving. Their associates, Bechiah and Uni, stood opposite of them during the service. Jeshua, the high priest, was the father of Joachim. Joachim was the father of Eliashib. Eliashib was the father of Joiada. Joiada was the father of Johanan. Johanan was the father of Jaddua. Now when Joachim was priest, the family leaders of the priests were as follows. Moriah was the leader of the family of Seraiah. Hananiah was the leader of the family of Jeremiah. Meshullam was the leader of the family of Ezra. Jehohanan was the leader of the family of Amariah. Jonathan was the leader of the family of Malach. Joseph was the leader of the family of Shechaniah. Adnah was the leader of the family of Haram. Helkai was the leader of the family of Meremoth. Zechariah was the leader of the family of Iddo. Meshullam was the leader of the family of Ginnethon. Zichri was the leader of the family of Abijah. There was also a leader of the family of Miniamim. Piltai was the leader of the family of Moadiah. Shemua was the leader of the family of Bilgah. Jehohanan was the leader of the family of Shemaiah. Mattaniah was the leader of the family of Joirib. Uzi was the leader of the family of Jedaiah. Kalai was the leader of the family of Salu. Eber was the leader of the family of Amok. Hashabiah was the leader of the family of Hilkiah. Nethanel was the leader of the family of Jedaiah. A record of the Levite family was kept during the years of Eliashib, Joiada, Johanan, and Jaddua, served as high priest. Another record of the priests was kept during the reign of Darius the Persian. A record of the heads of the Levite family was kept in the book of history down to the days of Johanan, the grandson of Eliashib. These were the family leaders of the Levites: Hashabiah, Sherebiah, Jeshua, Benui, Kadmiel, and other associates who stood opposite them during the ceremonies of praise and thanksgiving, one section responding to the other as commanded by David, the man of God. This included Mattaniah, Bakbukiah, and Obadiah. Meshullam, Talmon, and Akub were the gatekeepers in charge of the storerooms at the gates. These all served in the days of Joachim, son of Jeshua, son of Jehozadak, and in the days of Nehemiah, the governor, and of Ezra, the priest and scribe. The returning exiles, 1 Chronicles 9:1b-9. The people of Judah were exiled to Babylon because they were unfaithful to the Lord. The first of the exiles to return to their property and the former towns were priests, Levites, temple servants, and other Israelites. Some of the people from the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, Ephraim, and Manasseh, came and settled in Jerusalem. One family that returned was that of Uthai, son of Ammihud, son of Omri, son of Imri, son of Bani, a descendant of Perez, son of Judah. Others returned from Shilonite clan, including Asaiah, the oldest, and his sons. From the Zerahite clan, Jael returned with his relatives. In all, 690 families from the tribe of Judah returned. From the tribe of Benjamin came Salu, son of Meshullam, son of Hodaviah, son of Hasanua, Ibniah, son of Jehoram, Elah, son of Uzi, and son of Mikri, and Meshullam, son of Shephatiah, son of Reuel, son of Ibnijah. These men were all leaders of the clans and were listed in genealogical records. In all, 956 families from the tribe of Benjamin returned. The returning priests, 1 Chronicles 9:10 through 13. Among the priests who returned were Jedaiah, Jehoram, Jachin, Azariah son of Hilkiah, son of Meshullam, son of Zadok, son of Merioth, son of Ahitub. Azariah was the chief officer of the house of God. Other returning priests were Adaiah, son of Jeroham, son of Pashur, son of Malchijah, and Maasai, son of Adiel, son of Jezerah, son of Meshullam, son of Meshullemith, son of Immer. In all, 1,760 priests returned. They were the heads of the clans and very able men. They were responsible for ministering at the house of God. The returning Levites, 1 Chronicles 9:14 through 34. Okay, the hiccups. And the yawns. The Levites who returned were Shemaiah, son of Hashab, son of Azrikam, son of Hashabiah, a descendant of Merari, Bakbacher, Haresh, Galal, Mattaniah, son of Micah, son of Zikri, son of Asaph, Obadiah, son of Shemaiah, son of Galal, son of Jeduthun, and Bechariah, son of Asa, son of Elkanah, who lived in the area of Netopha. The gatekeepers who returned were Shallum, Akub, Talmon, Ahiman, and their relatives. Shallum was the chief gatekeeper. Prior to this time, they were responsible for the king's gates on the east side. These men served as gatekeepers for the camps of the Levites. Shallum was the son of Korah, a descendant of Abiasaph from the clan of Korah. He and his relatives and the Korahites were responsible for guarding the entrance to the sanctuary, just as their ancestors had guarded the tabernacle in the camp of the Lord. Phinehas, son of Eleazar, had been in charge of the gatekeepers in early times, and the Lord had been with him. And later, Zechariah, son of Meshlemiah, was responsible for guarding the entrance of the tabernacle. In all, there were 212 gatekeepers in those days, and they were listed according to the genealogies in the villages. David and Samuel the seer had appointed their ancestors because they were reliable men. These gatekeepers and their descendants by their divisions were responsible for guarding the entrance to the house of the Lord when the house was a tent. The gatekeepers were stationed on all four sides, east, west, north, and south. Their relatives in the villages came regularly to share their duties for 7 days periods. These four gatekeepers, all Levites, were trusted officials, for they were responsible for the rooms and treasuries at the house of God. They would spend the night around the house of God, since it was their duty to guard it and to open the gates every morning. Some of the gatekeepers were assigned to care for the various articles used in worship. They checked them in and out to avoid any loss. Others were responsible for furnishings, items in the sanctuary, and supplies, such as choice flour, wine, olive oil, frankincense, and spices. But it was the priests who blended the spices. Mattithiah, a Levite, and the oldest son of Shallum, the Korahite, was entrusted with baking the bread and used in the offerings, and some members of the clan of Kohath were in charge of preparing the bread to be set on the table each Sabbath day. The musicians, all prominent Levites, lived at the temple. They were exempt from the other responsibilities since they were on duty at all hours. All these men lived in Jerusalem. They were the heads of the Levite families and were listed as prominent leaders in their genealogical records. That's brutal. I gotta be honest. Oh, it looks like that's the end of those genealogical records. And then we're going to go into Malachi and Joel. We're going to be in the New Testament before the end of the month. Some of those genealogical records get a little tough to read after a while. I get it. They all serve purpose, but sometimes it's like, why, God? Why am I reading just names? But they lead to the Messiah. That is why. So they are worth the read, although sometimes it has to be done with a little extra. I can do this. All right. Let's go into, where is my thing? Right here. Day 10, breaking free from body shame. We are in, it's a dress. Thank you, Mallory. I'm wearing dresses right now because this bandage on my leg is kind of a pain to wear under pants. So I've been wearing a lot of dresses. And I've been wearing the same dresses 2 and 3 days in a row because I don't have enough dresses. But my leg I had to rebandage it this morning. All the way up. It's got to be bandaged for 2 weeks and it's got to be raised for 2 weeks. So kind of a pain. All right. We are on chapter 2 in the Better Mindset chapter. Yesterday we read about body positivity. Today we're going to read about body neutrality. Body neutrality is a term coined in 2010 by a treatment program in Vermont, and I'm incredibly grateful for this language that has helped so many. Body neutrality puts forth the hypothesis that complete positivity is potentially impossible for some, such as those who struggle with body dysmorphia, a condition that keeps someone obsessively focused on the negative aspects of their body, which may or may not be visible to others. An eating disorder, a traumatic event that occurred in the body, or even those who live with injuries and disabilities that are difficult to celebrate. I appreciate the body neutrality movement because I have friends for whom it is not easy or even possible to look in the mirror and proclaim love for what they see. Body neutrality makes space for those of us who have deep-rooted frustration, disappointment, and pain related to our flesh. From a social media perspective, it's not as widespread, but is catching on quickly. Body neutrality is a soft place to land, a way forward that is both believable and attainable. It creates space for our hearts to process the pain and disappointment we feel while still throwing off the shame of the overly negative perspectives we carry. The church's view of the body. So where does the church stand on body positivity? How does it interpret body neutrality? I'm not far removed from the pulse of the Christian church in America. I speak at 2 women's ministry events per month around the country for 10 months of the year on average. I lead a local church. I am connected with or am friends with many mainstream evangelical leaders and pastors. The truth is, nobody is really talking about body positivity, and I've never heard anyone mention body neutrality. The church seems to be largely silent on both outlooks. This is not to say there aren't pastors and leaders who believe in and even embody these tenets. For the most part, though, the concepts have simply not taken root in mainstream evangelical culture. They have neither been preached from our stages nor modeled by our leaders. I have several theories about why this is the case, but at the root, I see one negative reason and possibly one positive reason. From the negative perspective, I believe mainstream Christianity tends to be terrified of freedom in our bodies in general. I wish this weren't true. However, historically, the church has seen body freedom as sinful, and it has tended to dismiss any person or movement that advocates for finding comfort in one's own skin. Freedom is a complex concept that weighs heavily on an individual's ability to listen to the Holy Spirit and determine what is from God and what is not. My concern is that wherever church leaders cannot clearly communicate boundaries and borders, they avoid an issue altogether. Let me spell this out. The concern seems to be as follows. If we teach freedom in our bodies, will people overindulge? If we teach freedom in our bodies, will people wade into alcohol and drug use? If we teach freedom in our bodies, will those who used to serve faithfully suddenly seek and find rest, leaving the church high and dry? If we teach freedom in our bodies, will we have to have more conversations about modesty? If we teach freedom in our bodies, will more people engage in premarital sex? These are the spoken and unspoken concerns. Some quick thoughts in response from my perspective. Don't we already struggle with gluttony in the church? Don't many people in the church already battle substance abuse both privately and publicly? Shouldn't we teach rest to every follower of Jesus, including our high-capacity volunteers and church staff? Are the rates of premarital sex any lower for those who grow up in the church? Last serious question, and remember, I'm asking this of myself, a woman who is wrapped up in the church culture to an extreme degree. When did we stop believing grace compels us to change? When did we stop trusting the Holy Spirit to communicate appropriate boundaries through our freedom in Christ? Have we traded this message of freedom for even more bondage because we're scared to let people navigate the complex waters of liberty in their own flesh? If my hypothesis about this reason for avoiding freedom in our bodies is true, it's wrapped up in a stronghold of fear that needs to be rooted out, both at the individual and corporate level. We will not find freedom and wholeness this side of heaven. If our churches and communities teach women, overtly or subtly, to be disdainful of and or fearful of their own bodies, such fear contrasts starkly with the love God has for each of us and the fact that He creates us in His good image. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Where's my pen? Oh, I don't have a pen. Okay. Mark it with my fingernail. I will go get a pen after we're done. Okay, I will stop there. Some interesting thoughts. All right, you guys, thank you for joining me this morning for devotions. I hope you have a lovely day. I will not see you for breakfast unless you are in my group coaching, and then I will see you live, probably not making breakfast, but having a conversation this morning in just a few minutes. So I hope that if you're in my group coaching, I will see you over there this morning for a little chit chat. And if not, I'll see you back tomorrow morning for more devotions. I love you. Have a wonderful day. And if you're not registered for the webinar, it's the same webinar that was last night. If you missed last night's webinar, you can join tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern as well. So go register at the link at the top of this. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow.